Yeah, I mean,
not in a row, but fifth game, yeah.
mind you, though, it is a tied game into a Viper, so you have the break for the Kraken shell now, which is probably the reason why they chose Viper in the first place, because they just needed a break. So, yeah, why not?
It's value, though. Like, it dominates mid. Fearless has his work cut out for him. We'll see how much mg.trust invests in mid to really get that running start for the Invoker. You don't want to lag behind too far. They are really riding on that level 6 timing, so Jackie 6, Masura 6 are the biggest timings they need. Have the Ravage, have the Chrono. You can force those team fights earlier, and that's going to be key. You draft the team fight kind of oriented draft. You will want to get those spells out, and it's going to be important to meet that. It's not going to be an easy time, though. I mean, just look at all the heroes here. It's, of course, a Schem Bloodseeker on pause 1 blood. Ooh. That's a first in a while, right? Like, that's pretty exciting. Let's see how he itemizes. I think
last time
hard to say what you go for.
Last time we saw pause 1 Bloodseeker was red.
Yeah.
496.
Yeah,
that did work out.
Yeah, they go crazy in 496, but we'll see what Scam opts for. Whether or not the Veil is his responsibility or, say, Playhard's is up there, but it's going to be difficult to line those timings up. I think if mg.trust take too slow to commit their team fight spells, Neon doesn't have as much cooldowns. Like, you have Epicenter on Playhard, but it's not the biggest deal. Poison Nova on JG is a bit more important. But again, they can just run down at you once you hit, say, the 10-minute mark. So that's something to watch out for there.
You ever look at this kid Invoker and, like, just think to yourself, like, what kind of kid he is? Like, he sounds like the kind of kid that would get braces. He had some like, well-off parents, get some braces going for himself. Bot lane. Going to try and get a toss off there onto Playhard. And the race is on for the bounty. Boombell will not be able to get the Fortune's End off in time to root them in place. And that'll actually be a 3-for-1 start for the side of Neon Esports. No, it's not Jackie. He stole the other one away. So a 2-for-2.
Yep, it's a decent enough time. Of course, Jackie now has to contend with the fact that he is against the Venomancer lane. So JG can make it difficult for Jackie to find the perfect times to time walk. You know, all the DOTs that come out makes it hellish. Even Playhard is going to make it difficult every time he goes in for those last hits. Your support here, you know, Boombelt's going to have his work cut out for him. Just going to have to try to maintain that. Give Jackie as much farm as possible. That's all you can really hope for.
Jackie's going to have to time walk now, but a nice Fortune's End out from Boombell. Be there to protect him up. JG should have a decent enough time on the Venomancer, but it's a bit tough for the Void while you've got that level 1 time walk. It's just going to be super annoying to be up against this Veno. Till you get a few more levels up, that is, of course. Burrow strike out again. Going to force another time walk, but Jackie is going to get in there and trying to get a bit of damage off before he does back. I suppose we should have a look at the other lanes. Of course, mid lane, Yopaj up against Fearless on that Invoker. And John, was I wrong in what I said? Does this Invoker kid persona not seem like the kind of kid that would have braces on?
I have no idea what the implications of that are.
Well, I'm a very jealous man, John. I grew up in a poor family, so I didn't get braces. I get upset seeing this persona.
Yeah, he is kind of that smug kid, you know, who kind of just shows off. And, well, he's not showing off today. 6-2 for Fearless. Not a fun lane up against the Poison Dragon. 10-1. And it's going to be important for Fearless to not lag behind too much. Get some punishment out as much as possible and look for your supports to come in. Because if you give Yopaj that free start, you know, early timing in the mech makes it hard to maximize your team fight spells. Still, you look at that last lane. Masaros is trying to dish it out to Scam, but Scam's already at 11-2. This is a lane where you'd figure the Tide would be able to overcome as a melee hero. You're not going to slow down a Bloodseeker as well. He just self-sustains way too well. Q's going to have to try to find an opening, but when you've got a Grimstroke around, you know, John Uwell does not give you many openings to really try to go for a toss.
Just joking, by the way. I didn't really need braces as a kid. I had perfect teeth. Still do.
Oh my. Oh, good for you. I had to have them in high school.
Did
That
you?
was not fun. Yeah. Oh, it was painful. Like, just not fun. Still, Masaros, that's not fun as well.
No, it's not. It's going to cop the blood right. And well, Masaros, he's been having a very good time on tides as of late, and that's actually a very nice toss in from Skem, but didn't swell out. Bit of a waste there for Jonuel, but was just doing it just in case. Skem now just kind of forced to farm in a bit more of an uncomfortable position. What I was trying to say about Masaros as well on this tide is he's not really going to enjoy this Bloodseeker too much, right? Because you have pure damage with the Blood Right. He doesn't care for your Kraken Shell.
No. And even looking at Q, right, he's a level behind John Uel. The pause 4 being a level behind the pause 5, never a good sign as well.
Gonna get the courier off.
See you later, nerds.
Toss back onto John Uel. Again, just avoiding the stun. Very nice plays here from our Tiny. Masaros, however, copping a fair bit of damage. Blood Right will go as well. Masaros is still moving forward, trying to get the trade before he does go down. But Skem's gonna chase him now, and
Oh!
one
Ooh.
moment before disaster. That's
Right?
Bloodseeker's in the air right now. That's a bit of a scary sight, but you see, Tide. There's a bunch of ink flying at him as we speak. Now, he does have a squid head, so ink may not affect him. We don't know yet.
That looks like a pretty high projectile speed ink, though. I think that's going to hurt either way, Mike.
Man,
You know,
Tiny
looking
looks
at
so
Bloodseeker
evil in
here.
the background. Yeah?
Look at Bloodseeker. For some reason, you know, I maybe it's the tongue, but I always feel like he's like some sort of canine, right? Like there's a dog-like quality to Bloodseekers.
Not so much as like the Lifestealer cosmetics right now.
No chill, man.
The golden retriever.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, yeah. A very sickly golden retriever, mind you. Not a very good owner, whoever owns Lifestealer. Actually, lore-wise, isn't he supposed to be familiar with Visage? I forget. Like, there's a whole thing with that, right?
What? Who? Bloodseeker?
No, Lifestealer.
Is he? I'm not
No,
sure.
I
I never read up on the
Viper as
lore
well.
about that.
Oh, you got to read up, Mike. Still, Masaros?
He's still in trouble. Yeah, it did end up missing. Masaros, he might get the kill in time. No, Skem with the Blood Right is going to be able to get the first blood for himself, and that's as good of a start as you could ask for Neon.
Oh, yeah. Just a great time for Skem. It's not as free in terms of farm as compared to Game 1, but when you have a kill on Bloodseeker, you're just going to be glad, right? Gives you that runaway start. That mid lane, looking back at it, you actually see Fearless keeping up. You know, with the Forge Spirit, he can space himself out. He's got some regen innately, of course, so he can juggle it around. Yopaj is still not slowing down, but he's actually not hurting Fearless as much as you'd expect as well.
No, he's not. Which is quite surprising. Fearless, again, doing a great job, seemingly dealing with the Viper. Much, much better than he could on the Tiny. Both teams look to go ahead and take 2 bounty runes for themselves as well. It's just a very even trade once again at those bounty rune spots. This is not necessarily what you want as a Viper, though, right? Like, you really want to be completely destroying the lane. And if you're not doing that, eventually you may feel as though your hero does drop off a little bit. And speaking of a drop, Q might toss him up in the air to be dropped back down, and Yopaj is... No, he is going to die. Fearless did have enough damage with the Chaos Meteor. Play hard with the rotation, not there in time to help. Fearless will give his ally a tip.
And that's what we were looking for from mg.trust. That kill does help Fearless bounce back in. He is rushing to Midas. So this is a very old school invoker. He went for Exhort over everything else. So he's got the Sunstrike ready. There's some combos that can fly out. Burst Chrono going to be really important here for Jackie to maximize that Sunstrike build.
Sure will be. Top lane, they are trying to make a play now onto JG. You haven't got that level 6 yet on Jackie, but he may not need it if he can get lucky with a couple bashes. So far he has not, but it won't matter. Q, he comes in with the avalanche toss. And Q has been extremely effective thus far on this Tiny, setting up quite a few kills now, and he'll just run back off to the mid lane.
That's what you want from the Tinies. Like, they're buying space out here on the map. They've got the slight network advantage now. You've managed to help Jackie bounce back in his lane. The one thing is, you haven't done too much in Skem's lane, so he's still off to some pretty good farm early. Still number one in the net worth chart right now. But considering that it's a Bloodseeker early game, you really don't mind as up top.
JJ gonna be surrounded with the Sunstrike to fly in, and Fearless just blows him up.
Whatever that was.
mg.trust getting much more aggressive in game 2, not allowing Neon the breathing room to get started. And they're going to try mid lane anyway. Play hard, going to sneak in with the Viper strike out, and that'll be Fearless going down. Great rotation out from Play Hard now.
Yeah.
Q, that was, he was chasing. Be a bit dangerous for him, as there is still a lot of damage coming out from Yopaj. Fortune's End will purge the poison off, and he'll toss Play Hard into the tier 2 tower, where he will go down, but Q is also going to die to Yopaj. And I don't necessarily think they want to give kills away to this Viper.
No, definitely not. Yopaj, Widow's kills are now number 1 in that worth, so he's bouncing back up there. He's really maximizing that early presence.
They committed the Chrono. Jackie, he did have 2 in there. Just no damage really coming out, but they do finally at least get the Grimstroke. They were unable to finish off Skem in the Chrono and just proved to be a little bit too tanky.
They need a Sunstrike on top of that. You just need Fearless alive, and he just got jumped at the wrong time, so couldn't help out. You have to be aware of that timing. Still, you've got the levels up now on Masteros as well. He's holding on to the Ravage, but mid, they keep trying to make a move on Fearless here.
You gotta shut down that Invoker. That being said, Fearless now does have the Midas up. Did rush it before he went for the brown boots. And that'll mean he should have a decent enough game now, being able to get that bonus XP and gold from the Midas. He'll just get started in the jungle, but man, he moves slow without boots. It's 285 movement speed with the W used. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's going to take him some time to go around. Of course, he's farming under a ward as well, and GG.
Going down to Q. It's Tiny, once again, setting up another kill, this time just by himself. Mind you, Neon is pushing in that mid-tier 1 tower, so Q will want to defend this. They don't want to allow this to go down for free, as it is while we speak. You've also got Masteros there with the Ravage ready to go. It just doesn't seem like they're ready to take a big team fight.
It is risky. Like, the follow-up is the issue. You're still level 8 in your Invoker. The spells aren't quite that big. When you don't have Chrono, the Void is also kind of a sitting duck, but they're still grouped around. They just need to find an opening. It's already way low. And I think Neon, they're just going to be satisfied slowly plinking away.
Oh, Fearless. Getting JG. Off the back of Q again. He goes in for an avalanche toss, and Fearless just Sunstrikes. But it still doesn't change the fact that Neon are pushing it now. Ravage comes out. They're going to blow up Skem. He got the Rupture out in time on the Tide, but it will not matter. False Promise is going to come out from Boombell and keep him safe, and that's a great Ravage from Masteros and even Jackie now. He has Chrono in 10 seconds. He wants to take a team fight, and they're going to make the chase onto our Grimstroke. There really is no way out for Genuel to go, and yeah, he's gone. They do eventually get the defense on.
Being punished here, Neon. It was down to Skem. Like, him entering through that ramp, the rewards.
They got Yopaj, but a great Burrow Strike from Play Hard. Holding them down, but no, the Sunstrike is there for Fearless. Just in the nick of time. They cannot kill Fearless either. Play Hard in trouble. No, they can kill Fearless. Skem, he does come in, cleans up the kill, and Neon, they're going to turn back around now with the Burrow Epicenter out from Play Hard. He dies, but it is for the greater good. He will get Masteros. Still Jackie, moving back in now in the mid lane. Might need to back out, and will, but Skem, still with the Blood Riot, wants to keep chasing forward. Will eventually have to back out. But Neon, the hot tub. Everyone TP's back to the mid lane. Skem, he's got Rupture up again. Jackie's a little bit stuck here. He'll go for the TP plane. There's actually nothing to cancel it. Masaros?
Not best.
No, Masaros, he does have the Hood of Defiance, so he actually takes no damage from Yopaj.
Yeah, and just like that, MG.TRUST, despite losing their mid-tier 1, do have a slight net worth lead. I think this is down to just how far behind JG is. Like, this Venomancer, way behind in farm. Masaros is also not having the best of times, but a Veno needs to really be overwhelming. You want the early build-up into that Spirit Vessel, into the aura items for your team. It's just not coming out fast enough. Doesn't even have the Poison Nova ready, so you're not going to have that teamfight presence.
Well, they've caught out Q up at that top lane. Play hard with the Burrow Strike, and they're going to allow Yopaj to go for it. Does take the kill, and that'll help him get towards the Guardian Greaves recipe that he's working on. Bot lane, MOTIVATE.TRUST, they have grouped up, and they're going to be going for that bot tier 1 tower, so just looking for that direct trade. Of course, Neon Esports, they will have time to try and make the defense if they want, but it is going to be slightly challenging to the Ravage of Masaros. Of course, Jackie has Chrono back up at 35, so this could be risky. But Yopaj is going to TP in and he wants to take this fight. Jackie going to be Viper striked up, but is just going to be able to walk out of there as the Fate's Edict from Boombill going to keep him safe, and they'll turn back around with a smoke. Looks like Masaros is going to bait here. Yopaj gets gushed up. Now Jackie revealing his position. There's your Sunstrike. Yopaj blown up immediately onto John Uel. Grimstroke is going to be trapped in the tree line, and looks like he is just stuck to Jackie, who will burst him down. Fearless, he's dropping low and does actually die to play hard, but now Jackie has that Chrono up. Where does he want to commit it, however? He won't. He's going to just hold on to it and back off, while Q is still fighting. He's been left alone. The rest of MG.TRUST are just going to get out of there.
Yeah, it's still a big win for them. But Neon, a successful defense. They hold on to their towers and get some decent punishment out for the trades. And kind of just stall out MG.TRUST. They still hold the Chrono for another fight if they wanted. Looks like Jackie just really wants to be safe. With a BKB first, you don't need too much damage, especially when Fearless does have Alacrity on you. So he really just needs a durability. I'm gonna play it safe until then. Neon, for their part, we're seeing slow progress here. Playhard is working towards that blink on the Sand King. They need that to find their initiation, find these fights for themselves. Gonna be about 600 gold off, and once you've got that up, I think you can breathe a little easier when you do have that item up in the Sand King. You're also seeing JG. He's just about 400 gold off his Spirit Vessel, so you get those up, you can start to counter the regen the Oracle's pumping out, and it could make it a bit difficult for MG.TRUST if the initiation's just right from Neon.
Definitely could be the case. It's slowing down just a bit here in this game number 2 as MOTIVATE, they'll hold on to that 2k net worth lead. Of course, this is going to allow Fearless to work towards that Aghanim Scepter, and he is just about 1.7k worth of gold off that. That's when the Invoker becomes a lot more fun to start playing.
Oh yeah.
Much easier to get those combos off with Jackie once you've got those Ags up.
Just having the Cataclysm alone, I mean, we've seen that before. It's just so devastating once you can land it, and it's going to be something Neon has to be a bit scared of. They don't have any sort of pipe coming out. They only have the Mech and Yopaj. And those Guardian Greaves you talked about, it is almost done, but you would really love a pipe on top of it just to ensure that you can weather through that storm.
Trust. Trying to loop behind. They know someone's in the tree line, and it is going to be JG. Jackie still having a search. Will reveal himself now to that tier 1 tower, and JG actually does manage to hide. Successfully, that is. Now the TPs are going to come in, but they are late. The tier 1's already down. This is a risky team fight to try and take. They have all their ultis up. Still Masaros, he'll frontline. Suss out what's going on here. He'll just go after JG as Q, going to come in and just blow him up, and now the Ravage actually cancelling off the epicenter in the backline, so play hard, couldn't get it off, but it's a nice burrow strike out, but look at that chrono, out from Jackie with the Sunstrike to fly in, but they don't have the damage output. They're just too tanky right now, Neon. Ooh. There goes Boombell, and there goes Jackie. A great start to the team fight. So many things went wrong for Playhard on the Sand King, but he recovers with the burrow strike, and well, eventually they just take over.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for MG.TRUST. You're not getting as much damage in that chrono. You couldn't alacrity up your void because Fearless is not there. So the damage was lacking. Like, they do rely on that combination with the Invoker to maximize the chrono now because of this defensive buildup on Jackie. So you need to play as a team. If not, then wait for the Ags on your Invoker so you have that Kata. And you don't have teamfight spells, this is risky.
They're going in, Inkswell, Bloodright, all out onto Masseros. He's going to try and make a run for it, but it's looking real tough, and now even Boombell getting Viper Strike by Yopaj while sticking around, and that's going to cost him his own life. Or is it? Playhard going to go back in now, but Playhard may have gone too far and does actually die. Boombell on this Oracle, while his team is struggling right now, is doing fantastic work.
Oh, he definitely is. He's forcing out some really awkward plays from Neon. He's been saving his cores time and time again. And this does allow them to maybe set up for a defense. They might be able to find punishment.
An Avalanche toss is out. JG again being blown up by Q. Bloodright, Rupture, all being thrown out onto Q, but again, Boombell just going to keep him safe, and they understand they can't go into this fight.
Yeah, it's an awkward spot. Like, even with those teamfight spells down, your own kit's kind of dried out. You need to go back, reset. MG.TRUST, they're not that far behind. It's just a 1k difference. They do have the kill lead. They just need to keep forcing their teamfight a little.
Oh, epicenter burrow strike, all going to be onto Jackie. He does get the time walk off in time. They didn't get the silence on Jackie. Now the soul bind, but MG.TRUST, they know they can turn this. Fortune Zen, going to purge off a lot. There's your Poison Nova. It's just not going to matter. You've lost both your supports on Neon. And Masseros has the Ravage. He wants to go on JG. Eventually does think better of it, as his team has backed off. But just a tiny error there, as the silence on Jackie just was not there in time.
You've got to have that ready. You have to be quicker than that. Now Jackie has a BKB, so if you do try to jump in, you have to deal with that magic immunity. This is a massive power spike for Jackie, and of course enables him to really just fight whenever he wants. They've also got the Ags in Fearless. Gotta watch that next chrono. They're gonna blow up if you're not careful.
They are. Speaking of that chrono, John, he's having a look for one. We'll leave it be. The Venom Ward's gonna make it tough. They really want to start working towards that mid-tier one, but again, the Veno does just make it difficult to get in range. Masseros will show himself in the mid lane, but they can't really do too much against the Tide. It seems as though MG.TRUST, they've decided that this is not the time to try and fight. They have decided to go back and farm.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like, they do have a lot of room to grow on all of these cores. You would like additional damage on Jackie. Perhaps now he starts looking towards building up towards a MKB or a Maelstrom, just to really amp him up. Whatever he wants. Like, it's very open for the Void in the build up here with a BKB up. You also have Masseros still saving up for the Force Staff. So once he's got that, it should be easier to reposition himself. He's got the Pipe flying out. So this magic damage lineup you have on Neon, a lot of it is going to be cancelled off by that Pipe. Masseros is getting the biggest value item here that MG.TRUST could want. And that's going to make it a lot harder for Neon to win out these team fights.
They're going into that mid lane. They want to get a big chrono off. Jackie, he doesn't want to be revealed here, but those Venom Wards going to be in his way. They'll just try and force the team fight by taking that mid-tier 1 tower. Neon, they cannot afford to get chronoed like that with the Cataclysm to fly in, and they blow up. JG even running in on the tail end. And even Q coming back for an Avalanche toss, but he's a bit preemptive. His team wasn't ready for it, but now the false promise again from Boombill. Allowing Q to get out. Neon, you can't group up against Chrono and Aghanim, Scepter, Invoker.
No, really good time there for MG.TRUST. Getting the jump on the right heroes. Neon, they need to finish up their durability items. That Guardian Greaves is nice, but you really do need a pipe. You can see that they are building into the Heaven's Halberd here for Yapaj though, which is going to be useful against the Void. You really want to see that pipe on JG up and running as soon as possible. He's going to be saving up for that next. There is a smoke though. There's still a Ravage ready to go.
Asaros. He's not afraid. He's got the Ravage. He's happy to fight. They seem to be aware that they are smoked on Neon. Boombill's being very sneaky with the Shadow Amulet, but he's going to block all that magic damage off Masaros. Still, he's in trouble. He needs some help. He's got the Ravage, but he does not pop it. And his team is coming in, but no, they want to retreat now. Soulbite is out now with a double Rupture from Skem and the double Viper Strike. Skem on a double kill on Neon. Just giving it back to him.
I love seeing it. MG.TRUST have to be cautious. They hold out too long to Ravage, and now
Fearless has been caught. He tries to go for the TP play and will actually make it out. Oh, they still just don't have a way to cancel the TPs after the Burrow Strike.
Oh man, they need some ults up, but it's going to be difficult to farm that up on your Viper at this point. Still, you've got a Desolator out on Skem, and that does boost their right-click damage, help with a push. You were talking about this lineup lacking right-click. It is building up on Skem now. He is becoming a bit of a force to reckon with here on the Bloodseeker, but you still are at a deficit. Skem is the only safe core that's tied up with Fearless. Everyone else really starting to lag behind on Neon. Have to find a way to recuperate here.
They do. Net worth graph just been all over the place, but still MG.TRUST aside and has been slowly climbing. They're going to try to even increase that by going for this Roshan. Again, Chrono, Ravage, both up. They're happy to fight. Neon Esports, the ball is in their court as to what they can do. Bloodride, of course, going to give some nice vision. Jackie just going to time walk out of the pit. Have the Cataclysm ready. Oh, gets the Chrono out once again. They just want Yopaj, and they will get him very easily. But now the Soulbind's out with the Burrow Strike and the double Rupture. Is it going to be enough, however? Q with a great avalanche toss is making it very, very hard. And play hard might just die. In fact, Masaros gets the Ravage off. He was ruptured, so he actually ends up killing himself by walking. And Jackie is going to make it out. No, he's not. He's going to die at the fountain.
Oh, man. Oh, just a lot of back and forth. Buybacks forced out. Skem is way too low to re-engage, but the rest of Neon might be looking for a fight. That Roshan, Mike, is sitting pretty healthy.
Nice toss back on Yopaj, but they missed the avalanche. And Yopaj now might be able to just turn back onto Q. He'll use that Shadow Amulet. So that'll be enough. But they certainly don't want to allow Neon to go back for the Roshan. In fact, they're just going to keep fighting now. Q, another avalanche out, but he's been hit by the Gale, and Skem wants to chase for it. He's got some damage out. He does get the kill. They want to chase for more. The Viper Strike going to be thrown out onto Masaros. He just fought back on this Tidehunter, but he might just have to die back. There's a false promise out, but it's probably not going to be enough. They have a lot of control here on Masaros. They'll throw the EMP, but really it just shouldn't matter and won't. Great plays out from Neon. Just so aggressive.
They're managing to find a punishment on MG.TRUST. When those big team fight spells fall, you can really start to edge it out here. And they did get a good Chrono. It was very hasty. It was only on Yopaj. The follow-up Ravage was nice, but the buyback doesn't help your cause. Now that Roshan, clearly in Neon's ballpark, you don't have the Chrono, you don't have the Ravage, you just can't fight in the pit.
Off we go, Neon with the Aegis. On your Page. Looking to make a big comeback here. Skem will try and maybe bait this one out for his team as they smoke right behind him. Neon, oh, they're going to find Boombolt. Now, that's a big target because this man has been infuriating for Neon, but he's going to go for the TP play, and he's going to make it out again. Somebody really needs to buy Yules here on Neon.
Yeah, that's been a consistent problem for the past 26 minutes, this entire game. No Yules sign coming out anytime soon, by the way, Mike.
Oh, Jackie, he gets the three-man chrono off with the Cataclysm to fly in, and Masseros now with a huge Ravage out. mg.trust. They are not going to be pushed around by Neon. They'll give it back. And your Page is down. He'll lose the Aegis. Try and force staff TP up, but unfortunately for him, MOTIVATE.TRUST do have ways to cancel TPs.
Oh boy.
See you later,
It's
nerds.
messy
See you
now.
later, nerds.
Neon 6k behind, mg.trust not dissuaded by losing that Roche. Again, every time they have their combination up, they will hammer it onto you. Jackie now on that Void. It's just about one part away, just lacking the Javelin until he has the MKB. So we're reaching a point where the Void can melt heroes, even without the Cataclysm up. And just a follow-up from Master is just way too much to handle. Neon has to be very cautious. They've got that Yules now, but it's also on play hard, so all their stunts are still on one hero. They've got more options. They've got the way to cancel those TPs. Your objective's up now for mg.trust though. You're farming great, you're looking great, you're set to really just keep scaling. Fearless is already at the level 20 mark. And once he hits 25, if he does go for the Radial Deafening Blast, it's just even more spells to throw in that chrono.
Certainly is. Q on top tower, not going to last very long. Jackie now has an MKB up. So he has a lot more damage output in this Void. Obviously, you already have the Cataclysm there to have the damage through the chrono, but now he can actually get some solo pickoffs if he needs to. With the 9k net worth lead on Motivate, they are set to perhaps pull off this game number 2. Of course, Neon, they're not quite out of it yet. More core items to come out here on Skem. He's trying to work towards that BKB now. And that should help quite a lot. It's still just a problem of controlling Jackie, though.
They just can't catch him out. They have to be very quick to burst him down. You have to remember that BKB, even though it's on 7 seconds, that's going to be enough to dodge out a lot of damage here on Neon. So have to be very cautious when they do get that jump in. Right now, you are hitting pretty hard though in Skem. So he's got the Deso, and he was fortunate enough to get the Orb of Destruction. That does mean he can rip right through enemy heroes. At the same time, you still have to wait for that BKB. There's just no way you can fight without it. And you can see mg.trust, they're ready to go. They've got that Chrono and Ravage up.
Q looking to start this one off. Will spawn out Skem. Gets the Avalanche and toss back into Masseros. And Skem, he is a sitting duck. Just disappears off this map. Q again, so influential on this Tiny, looking for more. He will not blink forward.
Invisibility.
Or maybe now he will. He does, yeah. He sports out John Newell, but they do have a Yules up this time. Play hard. The man with the Yules on that Sand King will save the day. mg.trust. I'll have to perhaps... Do they want to fight now on the high ground? They've got Aegis Ravage. Chrono Ravage.
Yeah. It's difficult for Neon to defend this one. They can try to shove back the waves with JG. You're not nearly farmed enough. Like, this is a much slower game for your Page, and there you go. Start sieging.
Give it a shot. That T3 is actually taking a fair bit of damage off Jackie. The only issue being they don't really have a creep wave to tank the tower hits. There is one coming in, but looks like they aren't going to bother waiting around. There's still more farming to be had. And speaking of farm, Octarine core on Fearless.
Just those lower cooldowns coming into play, so he's going to have more uptime. He's going to be able to heal himself up as well anytime he gets the damage off, and it makes it a little bit trickier now to fight in. I mean, that Chrono Kata combo is almost always going to be up together, guaranteed. So Neon, if they're going to try to fight, it's a bit scary. If they do smoke up, if they find a key pick-off, they can maybe win it out.
Neon, big smoke up. Aeon Disc now available on your Page. You should feel a bit safer as they do again try to go on to Boombell, but the Chrono is going to catch two of them and your Page gets blown up. There's your Soulbind into the Inkswell of Skem, but they have a BKB, so Jackie, he'll man up. He's getting the bashes on Skem. Skem will have to make a run for it. Can he make it out? He can. Unless Sunstrike comes out, but it doesn't look like it. He'll be alright. JG, probably not going to be so alright. Ghostwalk is there from Fearless, slowing down JG, and he will have to take a slow and terrible death. We'll buy back immediately. That Aeon just did nothing, John.
No, it was so bad. Like the timing between that tick of damage from the Kata was just long enough to eat through that immunity point. And Neon, they do have lower respawn time, so they're going to be up for the defense. There's still a Ravage here from MG.TRUST. They can easily just take the next few fights, but they're not in a rush. You know, they're taking their time. They're playing it safe. They just take the last outer tower, and they just wait it out. I mean, they're going to have Chrono in about half a minute. Probably just waiting out for that. That's going to give them, more than likely, the Scotty up and Jackie as well at the same time. So you're going to have a massive spike in that next fight. 17k lead, 19 to 33. Neon, it's not ending up the way they'd want to. After that game 1 performance, it's a very different story here in game number 2.
Double damage up that top lane, Jackie. And go ahead and pick that one up. I have Scotty now available on our Void. It's going to make life harder. This position 1 Bloodseeker doesn't really seem to be panning out because we are getting into the later stages of the game. Feels very weak now.
Yeah, it's falling a bit flat. I think once you have the Abyssal, that fixes a lot of the issues. It'll allow him to man fight against the Void. Issue is, you don't want to man fight against anything with a Scotty. Like, your Thirst passive is not going to give you as much HP back if you do find a kill, so you can't sustain yourself as well. And MG.TRUST are also starting to find additional BKBs. Masaros is saving up for his, almost there, a few hundred gold off, and then he's going to be ready. And well, they've got those spells up. They do smoke up.
Smoke. All those ultis up. It's going to be another challenging fight here for Neon. Playhard might be able to break the smoke, or maybe not. He's going to barely avoid Jackie, and Jackie's going to get full vision now. Goes in for another Chrono, just onto JG, but Q setting up for your Page. Be alright for now, as they do get the double ruptures out. This could be the fight. The Blood Ride. Jackie's in trouble, but Boombell gonna save the day again on the Oracle, but still Jackie is being controlled on the Void and should not survive through the False Promise, or he does. But can he make his way out from Skem? BK beat up Skem, gonna make the chase. Masaros forcing him forward, but it's not gonna be enough, so they'll turn back around onto the Bloodseeker. The buybacks were there from Motivate, but Neon, they managed to make it work.
Oh yeah, it was a hasty Chrono. Catching only one is not enough. You really need 2 heroes in there to win the numbers on the side of Motivate.TRUST, and they get punished. They do hold on to the Ravage, though. So Masaros does have that option for the re-engage. Very important, seeing that the Roche is up. So you at least have 1 team fight spell in the pit. It's going to be important to contest that pit. If they can hammer in control there, Neon might be out of it.
Fearless has got a refresh orb now, John, on that Invoker. He's become a big boy. This could be the perfect timing, as well as the Roshan is happening, and you can see MG.TRUST, they want to fight, even without their Void. They still have the Ravage on Masaros. Gonna move in off that Tiny, but the Ravage is gonna come out with a double Cataclysm, and that's gonna be Neon gone. Oh, beautiful ravage out from Masaros and play hard. He's been left behind here on the Sand King. He's gone. Buyback's immediate from Neon as they understand they still need to go back for that Roshan, and perhaps without the Ravage and Cataclysms, they could take this fight.
Yeah, it's an opening for them. Even the Chrono, right, on the respawn of the Void, it's not going to be up for 40 seconds. There's a lot of time here. That is Aegis and Cheese. Gonna have to take it quick. There's still some blink opportunities for a time.
Tornado EMP. Roshan still halfway. Masaros, Chrono up in 25. He's not going to have enough time, but if they delay it long enough, seems like they might be able to. He's going to have Chrono up with this Roshan fight.
Yeah, Neon taking it a bit too slow. They do have the numbers disadvantage, so they can't fully commit. They need the Sand King for their own team fight. And that's going to be it. They did buy back. Have to be careful.
Jackie's going to go in. He'll try and force it now as he does have that Chrono up. You've got the Cataclysm. Going to be careful here if you are Neon. Jackie needs to find more than one person in this Chrono. And Yopaj is going to be spotted, but he doesn't commit yet. Now does with the Venom and the Viper. And there's your Cataclysm again. But Yopaj will survive thanks to the Aeon Disc, but not when those bashes fly in. It is just way too much damage from Jackie. And that Roshan is theirs.
Yep, it's going to be done. Aegis Cheese on the deck. Jackie now, 2 lives. It's going to be very hard to handle Neon. No buyback in that Viper. He's gone for a minute and a half. It's really going to be down to Scam to try to keep these waves shoved out, prevent that high ground push. And fortunately for him, with a Spell Prism, if he does switch into that, Bloodright cooldown lower, be able to at least keep the waves out. But I don't know if that's enough to dissuade MG.TRUST. They're just ready to go.
Jackie going to avoid the Bloodright. Q gets an avalanche, but the Yules from Sand King going to save his life, and he'll Burrow Strike out. Onto the tier 3. This Bloodright going to be a little bit frustrating to deal with, and you can't block it with that Fate's Edict. It is pure damage after all. But Jackie not dissuaded. He does heal himself up with the lifesteal and back at it. Jumping in. No Chrono, but they do have the Ravage. Be the tier 3 gone, and of course with that Aegis, he is not going to stop anytime soon. It's going to be up to Neon to find a way to stop him from taking this Rax. Without Yopaj, it feels kind of impossible. And even with Yopaj around on that Viper, it might still be impossible. In fact, Q getting a nice toss off to play hard, and he cannot Burrow Strike back into the base. So that's your Sand King gone without buyback available. MG.TRUST, they should be able to get a second out of this.
Yeah, it's difficult for Neon. If the Chrono does land, there's a double cat waiting to go from Fearless.
Oh, Q again with the avalanche toss onto Yopaj. They can't afford to lose him, but his Aeon Disc is gone, and now the Ravage out from Masaros into the double Cataclysm. And that's it. They have had enough. Oh, MG.TRUST, what a way to finish us off for the night.
Yeah, explosive plays. You gotta love that Faceless Void Invoker when it does connect. And MG.TRUST fearless with that performance on the Invoker, winning out against the Viper in lane. Yopaj, he didn't apply as much pressure as we expected. We expected him to run it down. You mentioned it early in the game, but with how that lane went, Fearless just got too much, and Neon, their draft needed to play super fast. They had no answer for a Chrono, for a Ravage, and just fell apart. So a 1-to-1 Motivate showing up in game number 2, and a really spectacular game to close out the night.
I think so. Of course, that is going to be it for the night. As you can tell, John, it's getting a little bit late now as we are starting to mix up our words. We'll move on tomorrow for the next day of BTS Pro Series Season 3. But it's been a pleasure casting for you all today. And of course, apologies again about all the issues we were having earlier on, of course, with the Treasure 3 comes out, Dota breaks for a bit, and then of course one of our teams could not play. But I believe everything should be back to normal tomorrow, as far as I'm aware. So it should be a very fun day tomorrow. Still, it's MLP Dota and John X Fire, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.